How important is the speed of my website for ranking it higher in Google? Do you have any tips on how I can speed up my site? Okay, so ranking speed is interesting. Um, there's conflicting reports because Google says one thing, and then what we see in the real world is another thing. And then there's ancillary reasons that you want it to be another thing. So you should always have your site as fast as possible. I mean, just from a user standpoint, if I go to a website and it takes forever to load, I'm leaving because I hate slow internet. I'm the most impatient person in the world. Um, so if I go to a website and it takes forever to load, then I'm just going to hit the back button. I'm going to go to another website. And a lot of people in this, on-demand Amazon Prime world, or I should say Netflix, Netflix, Hulu, all that stuff. In that world, everybody wants things now, So a fast website is very important from a user experience. Google has said that now, and Google has said a few different things about this, and I don't entirely know what their official answer is. They've said before that website speed is a ranking factor, and then they've also said that, well, we're not going to reward you for a fast website, but we're going to penalize you for a slow website. That kind of type of thing. I've seen slow websites ranking very well, and I've seen fast websites that don't rank at all. So I think it's maybe one point of many that Google looks at in terms of ranking a website. Now, with that being said, it also could affect things indirectly because if you have a slow website and really crap, that's going to lead to really bad user metrics because Google also looks at the bounce rate. So, for example, if somebody clicks on your website and then they go to your website and it doesn't load, so they hit the back, it doesn't load quickly enough for them, and then they hit the back button and then they click the next listing, that's actually going to hurt you because Google is learning that your website is not a good answer for the search that somebody just performed. And it doesn't they're not necessarily dinging you for your website speed. They're dinging you because somebody went to your website and didn't have a good experience, but it was caused by your website speed. So it could kind of indirectly hurt you. Really, what you want to do is you want to make sure your website is as fast as you can. There's some things that we do for our clients that really kind of improve the website. It starts when we build the website. We build our websites using the Genesis framework. Every single one of our clients, their websites get built in Genesis, just because it's a lighter framework, lighter, and it's just basically like there's just not as much stuff in it. There's not as much unnecessary coding in it. So it's just a lot easier, and things just go a lot faster. We host all of our client websites using Amazon or AWS. And then we also use content delivery networks. And what a content delivery network is it stores your website on multiple servers around the world. And depending on where the person is accessing your website from, it will actually download the website from the closest server, or at least the images and the media from the closest server. And what this does is it makes it so that your website loads a lot faster. So if you're in Florida, your website may be pulled from a data center in Atlanta. And if you're in California, that exact same website might be served from a data center in, like Phoenix, Arizona or something like that, just because it's closer. It basically picks the closest data center, and that way the information doesn't have to travel as far. And I mean, we're talking, maybe like a difference of like half a second or a second or maybe even longer, a couple seconds. But it does make a difference. It does speed things up. And then, we do a lot of stuff with our client websites. We compress images as much as we can. Like for example, there's some things where you have to kind of make some concessions. Like for us, having an embedded Google map on a website helps rank the website higher in the Google Maps. It just does. However, using the iframe that you use to embed the map will slow the website down significantly. So you've got to kind of make those you got to make those decisions. Do we want to sacrifice some speed to have the embedded map on here, or do we want to maybe sacrifice the rankings or have to work harder in other areas for the rankings and remove the map. So Google's kind of tricky like that. That sometimes that's just how it is. You have to kind of, make some decisions about what you're going to do. Are we gonna have the maps and hopefully rank better, or are we gonna take away the maps and get rid of the speed? But then what I mean. So and increase the speed. So it's not always an easy answer. Sometimes you have to look at the totality of the circumstances and figure out for each individual website what makes the most sense.